Howdy ho, neighbors. For those who don't know, which is probably like 99% of you, today, or hopefully today, however this editing process goes, July 18th is the anniversary of SNB. Now, I know that might not make sense because this channel itself hasn't even been around for a year, but when I talk about SNB, I'm actually talking about the idea of SNB as a whole, not just the channel. This year is actually SNB's 8th anniversary, meaning that I've been doing it for 8 years. Technically, the first video we put up was like 8.5 years ago, but I don't really count that because I was before SNB was really a thing. So I figured today we would go over the history of SNB a little more in depth than I've done before. It's not all super interesting or anything, but it means a lot to me, and I needed to do something for the anniversary video besides just sit and play games. So let's just jump into it. Really, to talk about SNB, first I think we have to talk about how me and my best friend met. Back in the 5th grade, he moved in next door. I was being homeschooled at the time, and I didn't really have many friends. And it just so happened that someone that moved in next door happened to go to the same church as me, and later on he went to the same school, obviously. So it gave us extra time to hang out and stuff and become friends. That was Ryan. And of course you can already kind of see where this is going. When we were kids, we had a game that we would play, just because we were both super into Nintendo stuff. We were basically making fun of the Super Mario Bros. By being dumber versions of the characters, and we were trying to think of names to call ourselves when playing that game, until we just fell upon Stupid Neighbor Bros, because we were acting stupid, we were neighbors, and at that point we were really close and considered each other brothers. So we would play Stupid Neighbor Bros every once in a while, along with whatever else we would play at like 10 years old. Eventually we kind of stopped playing after like a year or something of playing the game, and Ryan actually is the one that introduced me to YouTube in the first place. YouTube was still kind of new at the time. It wasn't like everyone in the world watched it like they do nowadays. And he showed me some early Nigahiga videos from Ryan Higa. After watching those, I decided I really liked the idea of doing YouTube and wanted to create stuff myself. I wanted to make people laugh and just have a good time while doing it. So we started watching YouTube a lot more. And then not long after, we found out that our other neighbor, who was a year or two younger than us, maybe more, I don't remember. He was younger than us, but he had a YouTube channel of his own named Sneep23. I actually don't know if it's still up. Let me see. Okay, so the channel is still up, but he did just rename it to his name, which I'll block out just for the sake of... I'll block out his last name just for the sake of privacy. It does look like he's deleted the channel, but originally, when we were super young and didn't even know how to edit and stuff, we would just make dumb little skits that were supposed to be a Stupid Neighbor Bros series as part of the channel, and his mom helped us edit and upload them to the channel. Eventually, of course, his mom got tired of helping us edit our videos when it was her son's channel. So we had to make our own channel, which ended up being the best thing in the long run. It helped me learn the basics of video editing, basically like taking videos, cutting parts off of videos, putting things together. And really, those early videos were definitely the most fun I had. The funny thing is that the very first video on our channel wasn't even me and Ryan. It was a video called Akaya's Vacation. It was actually a 4-part special because I went on a road trip to Indiana to see family like I did recently, and made a video about it. I actually found those video files, so we'll do like a watch through of them, not today, but eventually. But from then on, we just started working together, just having fun, making skits, improving at least a little bit throughout the time we made videos. I remember our very first profile picture and like logo was made in an app to just make logos, and we did this really cruddy thing. We just had the Matrix in the background and the words "Stupid Neighbor Bros" on there, which we still use the Matrix, or I still use the Matrix. It's in the end card of every video, so you know that at least stuck. And then pretty soon we decided, okay, we need to have our faces on there too, so we made a crudely photoshopped image of both of us on there. It was like I took 2 random pictures of us that had already existed, so like a picture of me with my dog, and then a picture we had gotten of him putting like funny glasses on with an app or something. It looked awful, but it was funny. Now, an important thing to note is that before I met Ryan, I was an extremely introverted kid. I did not do many extroverted things. I didn't go out and talk to people or try to make friends or anything like that. Really, the only friends I had were the friends that became friends with me for one reason or another, instead of me trying to go out and make them. When I met Ryan, he was more introverted than me at that time, so it was kind of my goal to help him break out of his introverted shell, and at the same time, it helped me at the same time. Of course, thanks to Stupid Neighbor Bros and Ryan, we started getting more extroverted, and that helped us to start making new friends, like Donovan being the biggest one. We became like a little trio most of the time. Me, Ryan, and Donovan, always together, doing everything together pretty much. And we just kept making the videos. We were having a fun time making them. We started taking things at least a little more seriously. We tried starting a couple different series. I don't think I have any files for most of them. We had one called Stupid Talk Show, where it was literally just us talking on a stage to each other like we were some sort of talk show host. We tried starting a series with one of our newer friends called Spider-Man. Those were probably the most fun to make because it was in our school at the time, and we just basically caused chaos. But definitely thanks to all of that, we started expanding our friend group even more, even to the point where like it wasn't really SNB related. It was just we had a group of people that we could go to for anything and we felt comfortable around and that we could trust for things. And that was really nice. That lasted for a long time, and even though things are different now, that's something I will always be grateful for, and I will always love those people for, even though things are different now. So we kept making videos, we just kept having a good time of it, still trying to improve over time. At the beginning of my senior year, we got a little bit of bad news that Ryan's parents had decided to move. They had moved like a dozen times before they moved here, and then they lived here for the longest amount of time they spent anywhere. But they decided it was time for them to move on again. So about half a year later, Ryan did end up moving, and we stayed in touch for quite a little while. Eventually, that kind of fell through. It's kind of hard to actually get a hold of him now. I'm only able to get a hold of him like once every couple of months, even though I try. And it's nothing I blame him for. It's something I'll never really know the reason of, I don't think, but I've gotten to the point where I can kind of start to accept it. And it was definitely a lot easier that I had my other friends that I had made along the way thanks to Ryan to help with that. I still had people that I could go to. I'm tearing up a little, hold on. I'm not a crybaby, I swear I'm not. I am just very emotional right now. So yeah, for a while there, me and Donovan tried to continue the channel ourselves. It wasn't really working out as well because, unlike me and Ryan, we weren't neighbors, obviously, and Donovan lived all the way across town. So it was a lot harder to get together to actually make videos, and I wasn't very good at making them on my own. I'm really still not. That's why I've kind of been doing the game stuff instead of trying to do skits like we used to do. Or, you know, just used one of my siblings for parts when I needed them. What really sucked was 2 years ago, on the channel's 6th anniversary, actually, on that day, YouTube found one of our oldest videos on our channel, just randomly, and it had the radio playing in the background for most of it because We were like 10, 11. We didn't care about the radio being in the background. We didn't know what kind of problems that could have. And because the radio was in the background for long enough, 3 different songs actually played, and they gave us 3 multiple strikes on that one video to completely wipe out the channel. Luckily, a friend of mine had been working on putting some of our videos on a CD for us because my grandparents aren't too YouTube savvy, so we were gonna like put them on discs to show to them the videos that we were most proud of. So luckily some of the video files were still able to be saved. We've actually watched a couple of them on the channel already, but unfortunately we did lose a vast majority of them. We had over 100 videos on the channel. I think we had like 110, and we only have like 10 at the most now. I don't remember, I'd have to recount. And you know, that hurt a lot. I was super sad during that time, because Stupid Neighbor Bros meant more to me than a lot of people think it did. It wasn't just the channel itself, it was the things that the channel did for me in my life. You know, not a day went by that I didn't say SNB at some point for whatever reason, just because it had become such a concrete part of my life. And I was really sad about it. To this day, I still kind of have moments where I wish I could go back and get some of those memories that were there. Unfortunately, it's just not possible. I've tried a lot of different things. There's just nothing I can do. Luckily, though, I was able to convince myself to try to start again. It's not like I had lost much progress, subscriber-wise anyways. I only had like 100 something. So really starting back at 0 wasn't that big of a deal. It was more losing personal stuff. I actually don't remember what day I started this channel. Okay, so I actually started this channel October of last year, which I guess makes sense because it wasn't very long after that I did the Luigi's Mansion video. What is this? Oh, I should probably change that, huh? I'll do that later. That's supposed to be like hinting at or foreshadowing for Ari. But yeah, I started this channel. I still got to hang out with my group of friends most of the time. Really, I was feeling good about myself, and I was glad that I was able to get myself out of the rut I was in and get started. Some of these details I think I said in like the very first video, but I definitely didn't go into detail about it. And really, for the most part, things have been as you've seen, I guess, if you're actually watching the videos. We're having a good time most of the time. Of course, things aren't perfect, especially in my actual, personal life. But I still push through, and I'm still getting myself to keep working on the channel. Without going too much into detail or throwing people under the bus, I did have someone in our friend group that started spreading some misinformation about me that was pretty bad. Not bad enough to cancel me or anything, but bad enough for most of the people in the group to no longer like me. And I wasn't always like the best friend or anything, but I tried, so that did hurt a lot. That's definitely been the most recent struggle. Again, I'm not going to go too into detail about it because that's really just personal stuff, and I'm not going to make this into a oh pity me video. So I've cut ties with all of them, but I still love them as people. I still love them for what they did for me when I needed it, and if things can ever be the same as they were before, I would love that, even though that's probably not going to happen. But what it has helped me realize is that just like the original Stupid Neighbor Bros channel, this channel is helping me through a part of my life that I just don't know how to deal with. Stupid Neighbor Bros helped me to be more extroverted and put myself out there in order to make friends when I needed them the most, and this channel has been helping me learn to go on my own. I've learned that even if I don't have the people to hold on to that I used to, that I can still move on and I can still be a good person and a strong person, and I can keep just having fun. I can have fun. That sounds more like I'm complaining about being alone, but I'm being serious. I really appreciate that I'm starting to learn that I can be okay. this way, and I'm glad about that. As much as I hate to admit it, that's actually one of the things that they tried to claim that they were doing, was teaching me that I can do okay on my own, which, of course, let's be honest, that's not what they were doing, but it worked. Again, there's like nobody here on this channel. I have like no subscribers or views on most of my videos, but that's okay. I am having fun with it again, and I'm enjoying creating again. That's something I haven't been able to do for at least a little while, and I'm grateful for that, and I'm grateful for the people that are here watching this terrible, terrible content I make. I know I've said it before, but I'm going to say it again. This channel is going to stay named Stupid Neighbor Bro because, and that is because the word neighbor means more to me than it probably means to anyone else. A neighbor is more than just someone that lives next door. A neighbor is someone that you can be with, laugh, smile, and just have a good time with. While my idea of what it means to be a neighbor wasn't really inspired by like Mr. Rogers or anything, it was from my own experiences with Ryan and others. Looking at Mr. Rogers nowadays, since I never really did as a kid, it fits perfectly. I wish I had watched it, because that would have been even more concrete reasons for me to decide on neighbors. And just hearing someone open every video with howdy ho neighbor and close every video with doodle doo is just, it's so goofy, and while it might not make you laugh, it's just so funny how certain words can just gain new meanings based on personal experience, and I don't know, it's just something I think about a lot. In the end, that's why I still celebrate today instead of on the new channel's beginning, because SNB, Stupid Neighbor Bros, is more than a name, it's more than a channel, more than videos, it's my life story. So I want you all to know that going forward, I will continue doing my best to improve and make this channel better than ever before. Whether or not that's actually good, we'll have to wait and see. But I'm going to keep having a good time. I'm going to keep having fun doing it. And with that, that's all I have to say. So, let's make this year as great as the last. Until next time, toodle-doo, neighbors.